So this video is on angles, and we're going to go through a lot of vocabulary, and you'll have your sheet in front of you, and it may not be the exact words, but you'll be able to figure out from the explanation what words go in those blanks. So what is an angle? An angle is when two lines intersect, which means come together at a point. So an angle can look like this, and it's usually two lines that have arrows. And this is the angle, this part in here. But you can also have angles that are wide, like that. You can have angles that are straight, like that. Or that turn, like that. So what is a vertex? And a vertex is the point where the two lines come together and the angle can be named by this. So this is the vertex, this little point where they come together, where they intersect. And if this is labeled A, B, C, each of those points is labeled, and this is F, T, J, and this is C, J, T, then you could name the angle by the points on the angle or by the vertex. So this one, you would name it A, B, C, or angle B, because that's the point of the vertex. And this would be angle FTJ with the vertex in the middle always, or you could just call this whole thing angle T. And this one, you could call it TJC or CJT angle, or angle J, because J is at the vertex. So how do you name an angle? Well, we just talked about that. You can name it by the vertex or by the sides and the vertex. So if you, again, this is the vertex, and these are the sides. And you can name it either way, so you'll see it both ways. Just because this is the top and this is the bottom, it doesn't matter which way you go. You can do CJT or you can do angle TJC. And then how are angles measured? So today you used a protractor in class, and that's an instrument used to measure angles, and you measure them in degrees. It's 48 degrees or 55 degrees. It's not the same thing as temperature degrees, but it's spelled the same way and pronounced the same way. But on a protractor, angles measure from 0 to 180 degrees. So now we're going to talk about classifying angles, because you have angles and then you name them or classify them as to their size, the type of angle they are. And you'll need to write this down. An acute angle is less than 90 degrees. And a right angle is exactly 90 degrees. The angle has exactly 90 degrees. And an obtuse angle is the wide one, and it's between 90 and 180 degrees. So it's open big. And then a straight one is exactly 180 degrees. So it goes all the way across, all the way around to 180. So this is how you classify angles, and they're in these categories, and go ahead and take the time to pause here and to write this down. So these are three angles, and you may not be able to read the letters on this, but it says MPQ. And so how would you name this angle? You could name it angle MPQ. You could name it angle QPM. Or you could just simply name it angle P. And then classification, the classification means, is it acute? Is it obtuse? Is it right? So we know this one is smaller than 90 degrees. It's closer together. And so that is acute. So go ahead and label these. I'll give you the letters so that you can see them nice and clear. And go ahead and pause and label these. Label angle, write the angle, and classify it. And then we'll move on to more examples. Here's some more. This is 4, 5, and 6. Go ahead and pause. You're naming each angle and you're classifying it either as acute, obtuse, or right. So this says, together, angle 1 and angle 2 form a straight line. If angle 1 is acute, what must be true about angle 2? So if this is angle 1, and they both make a straight line, what has to be true about angle 2? So go ahead and draw this in your notes and explain what has to be true about the measure of this angle. And then it says, always true, sometimes true, never true. Two acute angles of the same size form a right angle. Explain. So think about that. Is that true, never true, or sometimes true? Two acute angles, two angles less than 90 degrees, form a right angle. And you need to explain that in your notes and be prepared to discuss it in class tomorrow. So the homework check on this video will be that you have these two questions to discuss and that you will have labeled angles 2 through 6, and you have their classification, and then also that you take that vocabulary that we went over and put it in your classwork and have that prepared for tomorrow.